Hi, church family. I'm so grateful to be here tonight. We have a lovely woman here tonight who is going to share her story with us. She's sharing her story from Raising My Voice. Raising My Voice is a 6-week class that helps women to no longer be defined by their past, to be the best version of themselves, to be able to go out into the world and to help change the stigma. Jenny blessed Aaron and myself with taking the class for 6 weeks, and so she is here tonight to share her story. Jenny Ferguson, will you please share your story tonight?
At 6 years old, when life was supposed to be finger paints and bedtime stories, I was already carrying a darkness too heavy for my small hands. You know how people talk about childhood like it's supposed to be carefree? Laughter echoing through the backyards, the smell of crayons, scraped knees, warm milk before bed. That wasn't my story. At 6 years old, I wasn't thinking about cartoons or toys. I was thinking about death. I wish I had a gun under my pillow, and that terrifying part is I knew exactly how to use it. I didn't live in a war zone, not officially, but the walls of my home echoed like one. Everything felt like walking on glass, quiet, tense, sharp enough to cut at any moment. Sometimes the danger was loud, screaming, slamming, the sting of fear landing on my skin. Other times it was quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your chest ache because you know something's coming, but you don't know when. I don't remember when the thoughts started. I just remember feeling like life was too much before I even understood what life was supposed to be. There were no words like depression or suicidal ideation in my vocabulary. All I knew is that I was tired. Tired of being afraid, tired of feeling invisible, tired of hurting. And I thought to myself, with a kind of calm that still scares me when I look back on it. I thought that this was what life was going to be. How would I know any different? I thought it was normal growing up with 2 alcoholic parents who only showed love when they fought, broke things, hit us and each other. I learned very early on that fear is love and control will keep us together. I didn't want that kind. If I had a gun under my pillow, I would use it. And I wasn't fantasizing. I wasn't trying to scare anyone. I wasn't acting out. I was 6, and I was serious. You'd be surprised what a child can know when survival is their full-time job. I knew what a gun did. I'd seen it enough, heard it enough. I'd watched the adults in my life handle weapons with familiarity, with threat, with intent. So I studied them, like kids study ABCs or how to ride a bike. My father was an avid collector and had no problem pulling one out when he wanted someone to know that he was all business. That was my reality, and that was my education. When I say I know how to use it, I meant it. Safety off, finger here, point, done. Daddy was such a good teacher, even if he didn't know it. It wasn't about violence, it wasn't about anger, it was about escape. Not from life itself, but from the pain of it. I just wanted the noise to stop, the yelling, the loneliness, the heaviness pressing on my chest every time I woke up. When you're 6 and you feel there's no way out, death doesn't feel scary, it feels like relief. And yet, I smiled. I played when I had to, I went to school, I said I was fine when adults asked, because knowing the truth, it wouldn't fit in their ears. Who wants to hear that a 6-year-old is thinking about ending their life? It's easier to believe that we're just shy or moody or going through a phase. So I wore many masks. One was brave and unafraid. One was wild, still is. But mostly I became the quiet one, the one who didn't need help. Because I learned early, if you act okay, people will leave you alone. But being left alone was the last thing I needed. I didn't need fixing. I didn't need some grand intervention. I just needed somebody to love me. I desperately wanted my mom and dad just to hold me and tell me that it was going to be okay. To say it and mean it. To stay even when it got uncomfortable. So why am I still here? I wish I could say that it was because someone swooped in and saved me. That one day someone saw me and pulled me out of that darkness like a hero from a movie. But no, I stayed alive because of little things, stupid things maybe. A teacher who smiled at me without expecting anything back. She didn't know it, but just that simple act of kindness gave me hope that not all people are crude and cold. It made me feel safe, if only for that moment. Daydreaming about being able to drive when I got older, I did that a lot. I even think I started to believe in God at that point. Those moments were like tiny ropes pulling me back from the edge. Not enough to heal me, but enough to make me wonder if maybe, just maybe, there was something waiting for me. Now as an adult, I look back at the 6-year-old me, and it breaks my heart. No kid should ever have to know the weight of suicide. No kid should ever lie in bed hoping that they don't wake up. But here's the truth, some do. Some are right now. And not just the ones who scream or act out, but the quiet ones, the good kids, the ones who smile on the outside when slowly falling apart on the inside. I know because I was one. So now I tell this story not for sympathy, but for awareness. Moms, dads, teachers, someone out there might be carrying the same weight that I did, and they need to hear, you're not crazy, you're not broken, and you're not alone. At 6 years old, I wish I had a gun under my pillow. Today, I wish no child ever had to feel that way again. But wishes aren't enough. We need to listen, we need to pay attention, and we need to believe kids, even when what they say scares us. Because sometimes the scariest truth is the one that saves a life. Now as an adult, I've learned to listen to my inner child and rebuild trust, love, and safety. It hasn't been easy, and it's taken a lot of therapy. I've struggled with addiction for years and numerous unhealthy relationships. Today and every day, I work tirelessly to rebuild my life and show others that it's possible to make it through. So, if you ever felt like I did, if you're feeling that way right now, I see you. And if no one's told you today your life matters, even if it hurts right now, even if no one understands, even if you don't believe it yet, I'm glad I didn't have that gun under my pillow, and I'm glad that I'm still here. I hope truly, deeply, that you stay too.